Hey guys, it's Christy and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to be ranking all of the products I tried in the month of May. So before we get into it, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let's get into it. Alright, so I've only got one true fail for this month, and that is the Lawless Perfecting Powder. This is their talc-free skin smoothing powder. This is a product I picked up during the Sephora VIB sale and I wanted to love this. I love so many products from Lawless and I actually have this in the shade Fair. The packaging on this is really beautiful. It's very heavy. You do get a puff underneath. It's a really beautiful packaging. The problem with this powder is that it sits on top of my skin. It doesn't do anything to actually smooth out or set anything. It just sits right on top and it looks so heavy. It makes my foundation look incredibly dry. It just looks really awful on my skin. I think what I'm going to end up using this for, because I did buy it, I think what I'm going to use it for is to set down my eye primer, because otherwise this is going to get wasted and I don't want that. But this just does not work for a setting powder for me. I also tried this to set my under eyes and I felt like they still creased in 0.2 seconds. So unfortunately, as a setting powder, this is just not it, but I'll just be using it to set my eye primer. Coming in at number 10 is actually from Makeup by Mario, and this is the Soft Glow Highlighter in the shade Opal. So this is a very icy white highlighter, and you can see that. The problem I have with this is just that it is a little bit too glittery. So I just don't like that. I just felt like it was almost a little bit too stark and icy for my preferences, and it was just very glittery. So unfortunately, this one isn't a favorite. It's one that I'm going to use, but it's just that I'm not going to get as much use out of it as I maybe thought I would. I will also say I feel like you get a lot of product in here compared to his powder blushes. So I thought that was kind of strange too, but overall I think it's a fine highlighter. I don't dislike it. It's just that it's a little bit too icy and definitely too sparkly. So this is one that I'll get use out of, just not as much as I had hoped. Coming in at number 9 is from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Glowgasm face palette. This one is in Lovegasm. This was actually a re-release. She did release 2 of these when these first came out. There was the original Glowgasm and then there was the Lovegasm, which is supposed to be for deeper skin tones. I never picked up either one, so I was all about grabbing this one, and this is a perfectly nice face palette. It's true, the lighter one would definitely work better for me. However, this bronzer with this synthetic brush, it really doesn't pick up a ton of product. So this actually ends up working pretty well for me. I could totally use the bronzer. This blush here works very well for me also. This blush topper is a little much, but if I go in with a very light hand, I can make it work. And the highlighter is just too deep in general. But overall, I think the packaging is beautiful. The product itself is great. It's just not the most, well, it's not geared to my skin tone, quite honestly. So I do still think it's really pretty and I'm happy to have it. It's just not my favorite of all of her face palettes. Typically when I do these rankings, her face palettes are in the number 1 and 2 slots. Just not this one. Coming in at number 8 is from MAC. This is the Connecting Color Eyeshadow Palette in Rose Lens. So I did try out 2 of these. And this is the one that I genuinely thought was going to be my favorite of the 2. And they are really pretty. What I don't like about this one is that it only has 2 mattes. And then this shade here is really more of a topper. There's really not a lot of pigment to it. And overall, the color story just isn't my favorite compared to the other palette in this collection that I tried out. So the formula is great. I love the quality of MAC eyeshadows. They're easy to work with. I just really didn't prefer this color story as much as I thought I would. Coming in at number 7 is a product I tried very recently, but I've been wearing it ever since. This is from Rare Beauty, and this is the highlighter, and I finally got my hands on the shade Enlighten. This is really beautiful. This is a very blinding highlight. I do have it on today, and again, very blinding. So it's not one that I'm going to reach for daily, but I have been using it and having fun with it. and just playing with that really amped up glow. Much like the Makeup by Mario, it is a very icy shade. It's very blinding, but there's something about this one that is just a bit smoother than the Makeup by Mario, so I've been enjoying this one a little bit more. I really do like the formula. I think it's great. I'm still preferring the Charlotte Tilbury Face Architect highlighter that she released earlier this year. That's still my favorite, but this is a really, really nice one. I am glad I finally have it because I've been wanting this for a while. So I'm glad I finally got my hands on it. I really enjoy it. Coming in at number 6 is from MAC, and this is their new matte skin finish bronzer. I have the shade Light Rosy. So the packaging just looks like this, and I've really been enjoying this formula. So this is just a very easy to work with, very blendable formula. It doesn't look like too much on the skin, but what really gets me about this is the shade is called Light Rosy. So it's like this really pretty bronzy tone, and it's really not showing up much on my hand because it is the lightest shade and it is very light. But it's got like this rosy undertone to it, as the name would imply. But because of that, it never looks orange on my skin. And because I'm so fair, it is so easy for me to just look completely orange with a bronzer. With this, the red tone just makes the bronze look so much more natural. So I really, really love that. And because it also has that kind of rosy undertone, it works very well with my blushes. So I've been loving this bronzer. I love the tone of it. I love everything about it. It reminds me a lot of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless bronzer formula that I'm actually trying to hit pan on right now. It reminds me so much of that formula, just in the way it blends out so seamlessly. It's so easy to work with, so blendable, looks airbrushed on the skin. I've really, really been enjoying it, but the shade of this is what really, really drives it home for me. I've really been loving this bronzer, and I think MAC did a really good job with these. I know they did release a more radiant line as well, but I do tend to prefer mattes on myself, so I've really, really been enjoying this, and I'm really loving seeing more MAC in my month-end speed reviews. Coming in at number 5 is a lip gloss formula I tried out this month, and this is the new Charlotte Tilbury Jewel Lips lip glosses. I have the shades Pinkgasm and Pinkgasm Sunset. I love them both. I think they're both very, very beautiful. What I love about this formula is that they're not at all sticky. So they are quite sheer, but they're just so beautiful. They're so shiny. And just, again, not at all sticky, which is so important to me when it comes to lip glosses. I cannot stand sticky gloss. And I am very used to her collagen lip bath formula, which is sticky. And I don't even like the applicator on that one, whereas this I just absolutely love. So I really, really have been enjoying this formula as well. Coming in at number 4 is the other MAC eyeshadow palette I tried out. Again, this is the Connecting Color eyeshadow palette, and this one is embedded in burgundy. This I have really, really been enjoying. This one does have 3 mattes as opposed to 2, and again, you can probably see it is just a little bit more of an everyday color story. But what I've been doing since I tried these out is I've been reaching for this one every day. Not today, but I have been reaching for this one pretty much every day, and I've been using these 2 shades right here. I've been using this one in the crease and all over the lid, and then patting this one all over the lid with a finger, and done. And it makes such an easy, wearable, everyday look, and I've really, really been enjoying it. I love this one. This is actually the look I was wearing in my recent Gucci foundation review wear test video. That's the look I had on, and I loved it. It was just so simple, and I've been getting it all with this, so I've really been enjoying this palette. Again, same formula as the other one, it's just this color story really, really works for me. Coming in at number 3 is a product I don't know if I've mentioned. I don't think I have, but this is a product that I swatched on the back of my hand when I was in store, and it took me forever to get the swatch off, so much so that I went back and bought it. So this is from Winky Lux, and this is the hair lip liner, and I have the shade Pippi. So the only thing with these is I don't think they have a very good shade range. The store that I went to only has 3, so that's not great. I'm going to swatch this really, really quickly. This is just a really, really rosy toned lip liner, and I am going to take it off right away because if I let it sit down, it's going to be like glue, and that is what I love about this. So it is very creamy, to put on. It is a retractable liner, but it goes on very creamy, very comfortable, but it doesn't move all over the place. And once it dries down, it is a part of your lips. It's not going anywhere. It is there for the long haul. This is probably one of the most long-wearing lip liners I have in my entire collection, which I feel like I'm always looking for a long-wearing lip liner, but this one is it. I literally in store swatched it on my hand, and I noticed at the end of the day it was still there, and I'd been washing my hands a lot and it was still there, and I showered and it was still there. I had to use my cleansing balm to get it off. So if you're looking for a very long wearing lip liner, try the one from Winky Lux. It's pretty impressive. Coming in at number 2 is another purchase from the Sephora VIB sale. This is the Valentinno Very Valentinno Concealer. This one is really nice. I have the shade Light Rosy 1, and I've really been liking this. This is a really, really creamy concealer. So it feels very, very hydrating. I really like the shape. It lets you get right into that corner, but it kind of hugs the under eye as well. And something about the way that it's designed, it doesn't pick up too much product. So you can just dab on each eye and you're good to go. There's something really, really nice about this concealer. It blends out very well. It is super hydrating. I used something different today and I regretted it. I really wanted to just use this, but I've really, really been enjoying this concealer. I never really have an issue with my concealer moving around, but this one is just great for hydrating. It never looks dry. It never looks heavy, and it just blends out so quickly. So I've really been enjoying this concealer. And finally, my favorite product I tried out in the month of May is actually from Nars, and this is their Afterglow Sensual Shine Lipstick. I have the shade Dolce Vita. So you probably saw this in my last Sephora haul. This is one that I picked up while I was on vacation. So this is the shade. It is a more sheer lipstick. I do have it on today over top of a lip liner, but it is a little bit more sheer. You can build it up. So this is basically like a really glowy lipstick. You can see the packaging is absolutely beautiful. It's just so incredibly comfortable, and because it is already very glowy, you don't need a gloss. And again, it's just so comfortable. It doesn't enhance lines in the lips. It just makes your lips look so full and healthy and just shiny and pretty and all of the things. It is not the most long wearing lipstick. Again, it is just a very glossy lipstick, but there's something so beautiful about this, and it's 100% worth it. So I've really been loving this. This is definitely my favorite product of the month. Those are the makeup items that I had a chance to thoroughly test throughout the month of May. Let me know down below if you tried any of these out. What was your favorite product from the month? Let me know. I love hearing from you guys so much. And if you're new here, I hope you will consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!